Here we are with the Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. Chances are if you're watching this video, you love the weather or you just need a lot of detail in your weather forecast more than you can get in a few minutes on TV. That's what I like to do in this video, is really take a deep dive into our local weather. We'll start out this evening by just pointing out that it is, of course, the heart of meteorological autumn right now here in the middle of October. Our average highs are close to 60 at this time of the year, but today's high of 78 degrees, yeah, that's more typical of the first day of September, the first day of meteorological fall. So there's another well above average day for us today. Look at how these averages do fall for the rest of meteorological autumn. By the end of November, 42 degrees is our average high, so we've still got a ways to fall. High temperatures across the region today, a little more typical, again, of late August, early September. 82 in Cleveland and New Philly, 80 in Mansfield, 79 in Pittsburgh. If we didn't have the somewhat thick cloud cover that we picked up this afternoon, I think we would have done 80, if not 81, this afternoon. Well, it's been a warm month, but it's been a dry month as well. Now, October typically is one of our drier months from a climate standpoint, but this has been pretty dry even by October standards. Only 0.37 in the rain gauge at the airport so far. That's about 1.25 inches below average for the first 18 days of the month. Our rainiest day was last Thursday when we picked up about 1/4 inch. Other than that, amounts have been very, very piddling. But we're going to add to this a little bit tonight. Radar, when I recorded this right around 7:30 this evening, looked like this. Some showers scooting across northern Ohio into northwest PA. These are moving along at a pretty good clip, and, this is really nothing to write home about, and the timing on this is working out as forecasted. After dark, and when most of us are not going to be bothered by these at all. These will come and go overnight. As you can see, by about 2, 3 in the morning, I think they're just about out of here. We'll be dry at the bus stop for the kids tomorrow morning. Maybe a bank of some stratus clouds that might try to hang on in some areas for a while tomorrow morning. Not sure where exactly yet, but the day can start kind of cloudy in some spots, but I think those will fade away, leaving us with a pretty nice Wednesday. The afternoon looking good. We'll see some sun. And it'll still be above average. Now, it's not going to be in the upper 70s, but it'll be in the lower 70s, and that's still a dozen degrees above average. Then some changes coming our way, and this is going to be a wet period starting tomorrow night and heading into the end of the work week. First round of rain comes our way late tomorrow night and heading into Thursday morning. Might be a little lull, but then another wave of rain comes in as we go through the midday and the afternoon on Thursday. Now, I can't rule out a little bit of thunder trying to occur somewhere. Closer probably to the panhandle of West Virginia, maybe down near East Liverpool, down into southeast Ohio, southwest PA. There might be some thunder down here, but I think once you're north of 224, the thunder's pretty unlikely. And then, again, more showers around right into Friday. And notice our isobars are getting pretty close together here. This is going to be a cool, northerly breeze, a gusty breeze coming up on Friday. So the party is over as far as the warmth by the end of this week and heading into the weekend. This is just one model here. I'm going to show you some others, but here's our in-house, what we call the RPM model. Rainfall totals through Friday mid-afternoon, and we're getting into the red colors here, and you look up at the legend, and that's over 2 inches. Even a few pockets of 3 inches shown on the modeling here across parts of Ohio and into northern PA. So I think 2 inches worth of rain is fairly likely, and there's pretty good model agreement on this. Notice our modeling is pretty nicely clustered up here around 2 inches through the day on Friday. So it's needed rain, and thankfully it's coming over like a 48-hour period. This isn't all coming at once. Not real concerned about flooding problems. Now, if you have trees that have already been shedding a lot, maybe time to rake, and boy, if you can take advantage of tomorrow, be sure and do that, because it's going to be windy and rainy at times Thursday, Friday. Not good lawn maintenance and raking weather at the end of this week. Mentioned this on the 6 o'clock news. With 1.5 inches to 2 inches of rain coming, if you have trees around your house that have already shed a lot of their leaves, if you've got some maple trees that are already mostly done for the year, you may have some gutters and storm drains with a lot of leaves in them. Again, if you can take advantage of tomorrow, it's a good day to clean out those gutters and storm drains because, again, some decent amounts of rain coming. If you have clogged gutters, you could run into some roof damage issues with a fair amount of rain. And with storm drains getting clogged, if you get into some heavier downpours, there could be some minor flooding problems. Not a huge deal, but it can be a nuisance. So always a good idea to keep these things clean as we go through the next couple of weeks and really head into our peak leaf drop season. I think the leaf drop will be accelerated pretty big time by the end of this weekend to the weekend with the incoming wind and rain. All right, let's switch over to the weekend here. Here's the GFS model on Saturday. Notice for the first time this season some blue showing up. Now, I think once you're above, say, 1,500 feet in the mountains of West Virginia, up through the Laurel Highlands around Johnstown, PA, east of Pittsburgh, and then up into the Finger Lakes in New York and down into the northern tier of PA, there could very well be some snowflakes mixed in with the rain showers on Saturday. Now, even around Youngstown and into some of the lower elevations, I can't 100% rule out that someone sees grapple or a sleet pellet or even a wet snowflake on Saturday and a heavier rain shower, but the odds are pretty low. Better odds of seeing some wet snowflakes in that higher terrain to our east and northeast. But, even if you don't see a sleet pellet or anything Saturday, it's still going to be a raw, chilly day, windy. 50 for the high, it'll feel like the mid-40s. Really November-ish on Saturday. Here's Sunday, better half of the weekend, easily. Some sunshine. Temperatures warming up closer to average. We'll get into the mid, maybe even upper 50s on Sunday with less wind as well. All right, let's take a look at next week's pattern. Here's our big trough for Friday and the start of the weekend. That lifts out. And as we get into early next week, the Midwest and the central part of the country is going to warm up pretty nicely under this ridge. Look at this big trough out west. We're going to be kind of on the east side of the ridge and the west side of the trough that's over the Canadian Maritimes. Notice our flow aloft is kind of out of the northwest. That's going to keep temperatures next week pretty close to average and maybe even at times a little below average. We're not going to get in on the real warmth that places like Des Moines and Omaha, for example, are going to see. So we'll go towards the end of next week. Some of that ridging might try to move more overhead, and we could see temperatures perhaps getting back into the 60s for a day or two at the end of next week. I think next week is going to be characterized largely by a northwest flow aloft and temperatures mostly in the 50s. Again, pretty close to average for the final week or so of October. Thanks for sticking with me on Weather for Weather Geeks tonight. Hope to see you tonight on 21 News at 11. More Weather Geeks coming your way, same time, same place on Wednesday.